What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to yet another post-match fan show. The post-match fan show is your opportunity, it is your chance to have your say on everything Tottenham related. But Sim, how do they have their say?
Well, before every single post-match fan show, the link for the fan show is in the description below, where you'll be taken to the back end, you'll be seeing everyone waiting, and before we bring you on live on the fan show, live on YouTube, to have your say. But gold members, all gold members get priority for the fan show because we have a lot of callers waiting, so we gave priority to gold members. But how do you become a gold member?
I'm glad you asked me that, Sim, because it is very, very easy to become a gold member. There's actually two tiers of memberships: silver membership and gold membership. Silver membership, you get custom emojis, you get badges next to your name saying how long you've been a member, and you get monthly shout outs. But for the gold membership, you get everything that is in the silver perks, plus you get priority to come on to each and every one of our post-match fan shows. But not only that, you get monthly prizes as well. 3 gold members every month get called out from a hat on our last live watch long of every single month. And the 3 prizes are: the third prize will be a flag and a program. The second prize will be one of these lovely We Are Tottenham TV shirts. We have 8 colours of them. Link in description, by the way, if you want to buy one. And number one prize for the giveaway is a signed Tottenham Hotspur shirt. So our first month we gave away a signed shirt from Toby Alderweireld, and we have got many more signed shirts to give away. So click the link below, join our gold membership, and be in it to win it.
All right, now is the time for you guys to have your say. I want to hear your opinions on all things Spurs and the latest match action. Looking forward to having you guys on and hearing your opinions.
All right, we'll see you on the fan show. Come on, you Spurs. What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Chelsea 1, Tottenham 0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Another shocking display from the side. I mean, what more can we say? I mean, it's getting worse and worse game by game. It really is. And another performance that was lacking in quality, lacking in passion, lacking in desire. What more can I say, Sim?
Yeah, so painful again. You expect in a London derby, you know, you expect that we'll show a bit more fight, especially in the first half. We're going to show more fight to get back, to be on the front foot in this game, or at least not allow Chelsea. It's so easy in the first half just to play around us with no aggression, with no fight to us, no tackles being put in, no interceptions. To just allow Chelsea to play their football, play around us, like it's so easy for them. And
it's
then
a friendly match.
Yeah, like what are we playing at? And then what happens? Dyer does a clumsy mistake like Dyer has done throughout the season, and we lose the game 1-0. We can't get back in the game. Chelsea Chelsea were decent, but they didn't have to be amazing to win this game. We made it easy for them with our lack of energy and lack of attacking threat. We waited to the last 50 minutes to put Chelsea under any sort of pressure, and it wasn't even that intense pressure. We waited till the 88th minute to put a cross in the box. Waited till the 81 was it when Lamela had a shot? It was like the 78th minute. He had a shot on target from outside the box. I mean, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and Mourinho has to look for answers here, because at the moment we're dropping like a stone in the league, and we really are falling off a cliff. And if we're not careful, we're going to be in a big battle, you know, to finish top 10, let alone top 6 or top 4. I mean, the league really is falling away. We're lucky in a sense that everyone else has been dropping points, because we really should way off the pace right now. And we are still quite off the pace. We're now 6 points behind top 4 with no games in hand. We're 6 points off top 4 as things stand. Not in down to half a season to go, but the way we're playing, it's wider, not tighter. That's a worry. So is it a case of? Apparently there's something wrong with my voice. Will you check it? Yeah. Apparently. Sorry. 1 second.
And we're back. Hopefully our voices sound better. Hopefully there's no more lag anymore. But look, without further ado, let's start getting on some guests and let's get Grandpa on. Let's get Grandpa on without further ado.
I need something. What can Grandpa tell us? Hi, Grandpa.
Oh, God.
Is he?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Grandpa.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can. Your picture's not very good. You can hear me. Okay. Well, I'll talk. I can't see you very well. At any rate, yeah, there is a fantastic positive. A fantastic positive.
What's that?
We were better in the second half than the first half.
Yeah. Not that much.
You can't hear me. You're not laughing.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
You're
We
not
were better in the
laughing.
second
You're
half.
not laughing. That's about it.
I'm beyond
There's
laughter
nothing-
anymore, Grandpa.
Pardon?
I'm beyond laughter.
You have to laugh. You have to keep your spirits up. We're in lockdown. What do you expect when you're in lockdown? You can't get out if you're locked up.
But that's the problem on the pitch. Our players are too much self-isolating on the pitch.
That's the pitches. That's right. Absolutely right. They couldn't move. They couldn't move in the first half. It was unbelievably bad. I was really, really disappointed. And you try and pick somebody out that was the man of the match for us. Really impossible.
Lamela.
The best guy was Dyer, but he was Dyer because he gave away that goal, which he never should have done. And he almost gave away another goal when he headed back. And I think Lamela, when he came on, didn't do badly. But there's no go in it. There's no fight. There's nothing. We've just got to do better in the first half as well as we do in the second half. Anyway, I don't think I can say very much more. It's just pretty miserable.
Yeah, it is. But Grandpa, if you can't bring positivity apart from that, we played better in the second half than we did in the first half. Then I'm not sure if anyone can bring us any positivity today.
No, all I can do is bring you a bit of hope.
Yeah.
That there's a vaccine that can cure everybody.
I'm not sure that's going to give us enough hope. Often when Spurs are playing like this.
All right, Grandpa.
Something's got to happen. Anyway, the better news is that Kane should be back next week.
Yeah.
Is that it? Without Kane, are we just rubbish? No,
we just had no go. We just had no go. no faith, no, just didn't turn up. I mean, pass it, every pass was going astray. Some wasn't able to pass. I don't know. I couldn't pick out a good player.
How much blame do you put on Mourinho, and how much blame do you put on the players?
I think there's a shared blame. I think Mourinho again got his structure wrong. The fact that he could change it the way he did in the second half means he must have got it wrong in the first half. And I think the players aren't playing for him. They just haven't got the go. And I don't know what it is. It's just like they've got an illness, a load. But there's still hope. There still are good players. There was one or two good movements. Let's see if we get Reguilon back and Kane and Toto. They're still our three best players. So there you go.
All right, Grandpa.
Let's hear some positive from some of the other guys.
All right, well, let's get them on. Let's see if anyone can bring some positives. Thanks, Grandpa.
Nice one, Grandpa. I'll speak to you in a bit.
All right. Bye, Grandpa. When Grandpa can't give us any proper positives,
then you're struggling.
Show. We're in for a long show. But a guy who was full of positives earlier on in the season
said he will go for the treble, didn't he? Or quadruple.
Apparently, we're winning the treble. We're winning the league. We're winning it all this season. Let's bring him on. He hasn't been on a while. Si, what can you tell me, Si?
My friends, it was actually the quadruple, not the treble.
Well, there you go. You made me smile, Si. You made me smile.
I'm going to revise that to a treble now because the league's kind of disappeared. I hope is my signal all right today?
Yeah,
I'm
it's fine.
I'm going to move towards the window. I'm going to take you on a mini tour of nothing. I'll sit down over here. Guys, I think I don't really look forward to games at the moment. When you talk on the chats and stuff, Spurs are playing on Thursday or whatever. And I kind of knew today was going to be a bit of a struggle. One, because Harry was out. And two, I just don't have much confidence in our team at the moment. But there's not much positivity, is there, really, to talk about today? I agree with you, Grandad. The second half for the first 10 minutes was a lot better, and then we just went backwards again. Dyer seems to want to do anything possible to mess everything up all the time. I honestly do not know, why he's in the team, why he gets picked every week. No, I'm not being funny, but I know Rodon's new and Tanganga is still developing. But come on, guys, when are we going to swap and change this around? Because it's not worked all season, arguably not worked for about 3 or 4 seasons now. Where's the cut-off point? When do you swap this around? When do you start changing something dramatically? It's getting a bit tiring. Same excuses every week, same performances every week. And yeah, you can say, both say this and the other. I'm not agreeing with that because I think the problem's bigger than that. I've said that for a number of seasons now. You can't keep blaming a manager. You have to put blame on players as well. But ultimately, the investment, and I'm not saying we haven't invested, but let's all be realistic and honest now. We have not invested in correct positions that we have needed for a long time. And you can see it as clear as day every game, certainly recently, especially when we get to the midpoint of the season, when we start flagging in general. You can see the big holes that we've got, that we should have filled for an extra £5-10 million, but we're scraping barrels instead. We should have done it. Yeah, I don't know what more to say, guys, about it, but I could be here all day pinpointing many things that we all know that are the problems. But when does it stop? We can't say it's the excuse, it was Chelsea, it was expected. Chelsea are as bad as we are. The teams around us are as bad as we are. We're not excelling. We're not doing anything different. It's getting a bit ridiculous. We're all stuck in lockdown. The last thing we want is our team to to lock themselves down on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute disaster. I don't know what you guys think about it, really. Like, it's just depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find ways to look at to put a positive spin on something, or to look forward to something positive, but the players just look so pedestrian, so lethargic, no movement whatsoever. I mean, what can you put that down to? Like, is Jose's messages not getting across, or are they listening to Jose and it's just fossil football? Like, what is going on that football pitch? What is going on? You look at last week as well. They dropped Eric Dyer. Rodon comes in, he makes mistakes. Dyer comes back in, he makes a mistake. Like, anyone he puts in there will make a mistake. So, like, what can he do?
It's like the pressure of his own system, isn't it? Because I know that we want to press and we want to counter, but he also knows, and we all know, that we cannot do that because our defence is so bad, no matter who you put in there. Now, Rodon, at the end of the day, he's still young, he's still learning. He needs games, like, he needs to play consistently to learn from those mistakes and crack on with it. But, managers these days and fans in general just don't have patience for anything like that anymore. It's just like, you have to be immediate, you have to be instant right now, as good as you can be all day long. It doesn't work like that. And let's be honest as well, like, it's not isolated with just our team. There are teams around us that have done exactly the same thing. Look at Liverpool and all this lot. United at the beginning or first half of the season were probably playing as we are now. So it's a really confusing season, but it's ultimately disappointing because these are the kind of seasons, I say these kind of seasons, like very rare ones really, but these kind of seasons are the ones you want to grasp and be like, okay, well, everyone's having a dodgy season. Let's be the ones that step up here. But of course, Man City do that day in, day out, no matter who they play. They've gone on a massive, unbelievable run. I do believe that they'll win the title this year in general.
Well, that's a headline there.
Well, it's got to be done, mate. Now, like, they're just so fluent, and you get that. Well, you get that with amazing players, of course.
Yeah.
But look at the whole of our team. Look at the bench, right? You go to the bench now. Gareth was supposed to be our saviour. I don't know what's going on there. The Dele situation, quite frankly, I'm not going to say the words I want to say, but it's frustrating because he is a fantastic talent. We know this, but something's going on. It's not been resolved. And the last thing you want is another 6 months of that kind of thing going on the backstage. So you look at your bench and you go, right, who's going to come on and change this game? Oh, Eric Lamela, Lucas Moura, the same boring names. Yes, they bring energy. Yes, they can do this and that. But let's be actually realistic as to what do they actually bring to this team. What does Bergwijn do, to be honest? What does Sissoko do? This has been a problem for years. Now, Sissoko, I love to bits. Don't get me wrong. I'm not slaying big players here. Like, these guys have good energy, but that's just not good enough. Like, we're relying on someone who arguably looked like he needed a walking stick today to cover that entire back four. That's the big problem for me. You can't rely on Højbjerg all the time to do the job. If you're going to pick a man of the match today, I wouldn't pick anyone. But what I would say is Højbjerg did his job. I wouldn't say he was like absolutely insane because no one was. But you could rely on him to do the right things. And the halftime analysis with Janis was he was spinning on a sixpence like he always does, like on Ndombele does. No one to pass to, no movement, no creativity. How long have we said this? We were saying this last season. When I was sat depressed at the train station every week because we were doing things like this all the time. Like, when does it stop? And it all boils down to the lack of investment in the correct places, in my opinion. And that problem will never go. You can have a nice run of a few games, but the problem will always remain. We will always come back to this exact same problem, that the board is so tight, doesn't want to spend the 5-10 million extra that's required for the players that we genuinely actually need, not to fill gaps, not to keep fans happy about a couple of players here and there. I'm talking about genuine players that we genuinely need. And it's getting tiring now. What's going to happen this summer? We'll probably give Toby a 5-year contract because it's the cheapest thing to do. I'm telling you, it's getting boring now. So boring. Rant over.
All right, Si. Si, thanks a lot for coming on,
nice
man.
One, Si.
Love you all.
Speak to you
Obviously,
soon.
Si.
Hopefully in better times.
I got 3 super chats here.
all right.
One from Awesome Or says the true fact is Tottenham has no defence. That's why everyone is asked to defend 90 minutes, including Harry Kane. Yeah, but that excuse only goes so far when we're not creating chances. You know what I mean? When
Pep Guardiola once famously said about 3 years ago now that we are the Harry Kane team, and we all laughed at him. Now it's becoming a bit evident.
Oh yeah, but well. Richard Blackdog says, "Hi lads, if Jose's banking on getting us a trophy, he'd better change his style of play. Football's changed dramatically in the past 2 years, but his tactics hasn't. I don't think it's to do with his style of play of football changing. Because who's top of the league right now in Spain?
In Spain,
Yeah,
Atletico.
exactly. Has football changed? Why is their football working? They don't exactly play the most attacking
Real
football,
Madrid
do
and
they?
Barcelona fallen off a cliff this season.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying they don't play the most attacking football, though, do they? And they still get results.
Well,
I'm
the
not
Spanish
saying
league is in the dirt at the moment.
it's not about modern football. It's about his tactics right now, what he's implementing. I don't think it's about modern football having changed. The BSP refix says, Jose has backed the players in public tonight. Can't help thinking the reason he's done this is because he's lost them in private and clutching now. I don't know.
Nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, but it's hard to see that the players are actually fighting for him. It's hard to see that.
Well, the only thing I can say is they improved in the second half after having a chat with him, but they didn't improve that much.
Richard Blackdog also says 1,100 people watching. Get those likes up, people. I second that, Richard Blackdog. Everyone, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Hopefully things will get better.
I'm lost at the moment for Tottenham, just the way things are going.
Yeah.
We can look at what someone tagged us in this picture. Gareth Bale watching Lucas and Lamella come on for him over there. If you can see that.
Yeah,
look at his expression. I know it's probably just a moment of court. I don't think it means anything, but it's just funny to see that. Like, there's Lucas there coming on and with Lamella and Bale's there in the background like that. The picture paints 1,000 words.
I would have brought on Bale. At least he could have hit a free kick or something.
Thank you, Manny Paul. Also, Josh King says, time to bring back this classic. And this is when he said, I'm officially Jose out after we drew 0-0 to Bournemouth at the back end of last season. And we all laughed at him. Is that the Nigel Raj thing? Look who's laughing now. I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. Marcelo says, what WTF was that, Tottenham? We are Tottenham TV. Just give 100%, lads. That's all we asked for, full effort. I agree. Like, in the first half, we were just nowhere near enough effort.
Let's bring some guests on, then we can go back to some more tweets. Who is on next? Alex Samuels. Alex, Tottenham therapy starts now. Look, I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. What can you tell me?
It's bad, isn't it? Really, it's really bad. I think it's gotten to the point for me. I think the position has to be assessed in the summer now, no matter what. Jose Mourinho's position. I think that the good part of the season was so long ago now, and the rest of it, ever since the West Ham game, I see that as the turning point, has been so poor. Games where we have won, the performances haven't been good on the whole. There have been some outliers. And it's just, I don't think I'm surprised by what's happened. I think that it's come earlier than we expected with Mourinho. But it just seems like it's hard. It's difficult to say he's lost the dressing room because we just don't know. We don't know. We don't know what goes on. We don't know the insides. We only know about 5-10% of what actually happens in football. I say. So I don't know that, but it really isn't looking good. I mean, tonight's performance was it hurts for me the most because all of my family are Chelsea fans apart from me. So these games are always really tough for me. So it's always tough
everyone
for me,
show some support to Alex in the comments, man. He must need it right now.
Yeah,
Alex, we had Carlos Vinicius up front tonight. We had a target man up front tonight. We waited till the 88th minute, pretty much. I can't remember a cross before the 88th minute. We waited to the 88th minute for Aurier to get out of the pitch and put in a ball in the box. And it created a chance. He missed an absolute sitter with his head. But why did it take 88 minutes for us? You know, it's not a rocket science. You got a target man, you get your fullbacks up, you get crosses in the box, and maybe you get chances. Why did it wait to 88 minutes for us to do that?
I think that it's interesting. Did you guys see the piece by, I think it's Miguel Delaney?
Yeah, Miguel Delaney, I did.
Did you see it?
Worryingly so. Worryingly so.
It's interesting. It's very interesting, isn't it?
The problem is, I don't want to believe that piece, but the problem is it's there to see.
Yeah, for those that don't know, it made the accusation, however you want to put it. It said that the attacking play, there is no attacking guidance, attacking tactics. It's just basically hoof the ball up to Kane and Son and see what happens. And that's kind of what you see on the pitch, isn't it? Really, and that's why I feel like there's no flow from the midfield to the attack. The attack seems to just break down in the final third. I know, and no one was having a good game. Taking Ndombele off seemed a ridiculous decision. It seems though he's really our only, midfield option of going forward. He really connects that midfield to attack, and taking him off seemed crazy for me at least. It's just all around really. It's really odd what's happening at Tottenham. From top to bottom, it just backs up what I was saying. That I really, really want to be wrong, but I mean, I was saying the other day that a lot of it is on Mourinho and the players. It's both. It's not one or the other. It's not just the players giving up on Mourinho. It is both. But
can Mourinho legislate? Can Mourinho legislate for things like what Dyer did in the first half with that penalty?
The answer is obviously no, right? But I think an important point needs to be made that Eric Dyer, he got dropped for a game, but throughout the season he has consistently been picked and he's consistently been terrible, right? And who was the one who gave him a new contract? So if you you might say, oh, you can't assume that he's going to make a massive mistake like that, but come on, he's been awful for years. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, we did. It was on our end.
Oh, right, okay. Is it all good now?
I think so. Tempo. All right. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Cool. Yeah, you're talking about Eric Dyer. We're talking about Eric Dyer.
Yeah, just how, the competition around him, Mourinho must really not fancy, to be honest, Samuelson Sanchez or really Joe Rodon for these games, because to pick Eric Dyer ahead of any of those. He really
wanted a centre back in the summer, didn't he? That's the thing. He was crying out for one. He wanted Skriniar. He wanted Diaz.
Did he want him to play alongside Dyer, or did he want him to play alongside someone else? Because Dyer's the one that's ever present, pretty much.
He's the golden boy. He's the golden boy. He got. Because I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
Portuguese.
Yeah, Toby didn't bloody foul someone while lying on the ground tonight. It wasn't Toby's fault.
Oh, something's happened again.
No, we're still up. But yeah, look,
Can you see us, Alex?
It's weird on the back end. It's like I haven't been able to see you for most of the time.
I can see us on screen, mate. We're fine.
Okay, all right.
But but Alex, where do we go from here? Look, can I ask you this, Alex? Right?
Yeah.
People are saying, well, Jose last season, whatever. If we win Europa League, or if we will basically Jose get the chance to challenge for a Europa League medal, right? He's not going to go, even if we're flailing in the league. If we do win Europa League and win a League Cup, that's you'd say that's a good season.
Yeah.
So he's going to have these. Would you say Jose needs the chance to see if he can do that, or do you think if we're really going that badly in the league, you consider changing him?
Two things. Firstly, there is, unless we go on to lose the next 5 games, there is zero chance we're going to sack Jose Mourinho. Zero, I can tell you that for free, because the amount of money to cancel his contract would be ridiculous. So I don't think that's going to happen. And second thing is, I don't think you should sack him, really. And that's weird to say as someone who's criticised him, because I think you just still have to give him to the end of the season to see how he does and assess the position at the end. I really do. I think this has to see it through to the end and assess the position in the summer and see who's available, because I don't think there's anyone decent available now.
It's worrying. It's very, very worrying, because the worst thing about it is, I said after the Liverpool game that with Harry Kane injured, we can't afford to have these lethargic games where we look uncreative. We don't look like scoring a goal, because it just because that negative feeling festers, and that's important. This whole momentum and mentality and the way teams and squads they're feeling, these are all very important things. And once you go one game, we didn't look like scoring in that half against Liverpool. We didn't look like scoring at all against Brighton. And now we didn't look like scoring again against Chelsea. And that all plays on the mind of these players. And all of a sudden, that if everyone keeps telling these players, we need Harry Kane or we're useless, we need Harry Kane or we're useless, they're going to start to believe that. And the problem is it's bearing out on the pitch. That's the most worrying thing. And once it starts to bear out, then they can see it for themselves, that they are losers at Harry Kane. So where do we go from here?
Well, the thing is, though, I think it's a complete. Maybe mentally that's a thing. They might think, "Oh, we really need Harry Kane back," but actually, I think it's a complete myth that Harry Kane's the Messiah and we can only play well with Harry Kane on the pitch. That's absolute rubbish, because we've been playing awful with Harry Kane on the pitch. Yeah, we've been playing like West Brom for. Well, actually, they're doing well at the moment. We've been playing like a bog standard team for ages now. So I don't think that's the case. The situation's obviously made it worse, and perhaps something mental has come into it. But and obviously it is a mentality thing, and because Mourinho said it himself, and I do believe him, the players are in a rut. The players are feeling very negative at the moment, and it's understandable when you're having so many 3 losses in a row now, 2 at home for the first time ever in Mourinho's managerial career, 2 losses at home in a row. I can understand it, but I'm sorry, but I thought Mourinho is the elite manager who can succeed in these situations, who knows what to do. But I've always kind of thought I'm not sure about that. Football's changed. I said this the other day. Football's changed, and I'm not sure Mourinho is the right guy to manage these sorts of players anymore. And I'm sorry, just another thing, something that's just annoying. So now, I just want to go at the Dele Alli situation, because I find this very interesting here. That Mourinho basically sidelined him completely. Yep. It goes badly, and it's kind of like he comes crawling back a bit
on his hands and knees.
Exactly. And if I was Dele Alli, I'd be thinking, excuse me, you want.
Sorry guys, I don't know, our connection today is literally worse than the performance on the pitch today, so I can only apologise for that.
Always seems to happen when we lose, isn't it?
Literally, I mean, it makes this job really, really hard, but let's keep going. Let's get some
let me just read these super chats quickly. Super chat from Tinman 007 says, nothing will change until Enoch Levy leave our club. 21 years, 14 managers, 1 trophy. Enough is enough. That's what he says. I don't know.
Let's go to Ariane now. Let's go to Ariane. Ariane. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. What can you tell me, man? What can you tell me?
I can tell you that, positives,
Yes,
this game
please,
especially.
please.
All right. Well, let's try to think for a little bit. I can't think of any, actually, honestly. The only positive, I guess, is that it was only 1-0. Let's go with that. It was only 1-0. All right. We don't have to be on the headlines just losing 9-0. Southampton took our spot, so luckily we don't have to worry about that. I just don't understand why the players are doing what they're doing. Because you can't tell me, looking out on the pitch, the players that are sitting like that defensively, Bergwijn's all the way back, Son's all the way back, that might be the defensive phase, whatever. Once we get the ball, 1-0 down, all right, 0-0, whatever, but we're 1-0 down, there is no desire to even get forward. There is no way that is what Mourinho is telling these players. I refuse to believe that. And when do we start attacking? In the last 10, 15 minutes. Again, I do not think that this is Mourinho's telling. And do you know how I know that? Because this is exactly what we saw under Pochettino's end of the reign. The players would do nothing for the whole game. 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 0-0, whatever it may be, until the urgency kicked in last 15, 10 minutes. These players are not good enough. They let down Pochettino, and they will let down Mourinho. I'm not saying he's going to get sacked, but every single poor result that has come ever since the Crystal Palace game has not been because of a tactical mismanagement. Has he made mistakes? Absolutely. There have been things that obviously I think he's doing wrong. But it's not totally his fault. It's the players. I'm telling you, it is the players. These players, week in, week out, are making the same mistakes, the same lack of desire, lack of passion. And I hear, well, why does he start Dyer? Why does he start this? Why doesn't he do this? Why does he do that? He changed the tactics in the second half, and yes, we look better. But again, no goals. And people are saying, well, if we have such crappy defenders, why don't we push forward? People need to understand, to play offensive football, you need a better defense than if you wanted to play defensive football, because your defense has to cover the offense. The reason a team plays defensive football is because the defenders simply are not good enough to hold their own weight at the back.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me play to our strengths and push forward, because our strength, first of all, pushing forward is clearly not one of our strengths. And the defenders just aren't good enough to play defensive or offensive football. So you cannot play either. And now you're stuck in this little stalemate where the players don't want to do anything. The manager doesn't know what to do because all the players keep making mistakes or are not good enough. And the club is just going to keep falling down. And Enig needs to invest in this club because the resale value is going to keep going down. So there's just – and they're not doing – it's just nobody is doing anything to try and push the club forward. And us as fans have to take the brunt of it because the players still go home and they get their wages. Enig still has – all the riches they will ever have. They don't care about investing into this club. They're going to still buy their $400 million pendings. And then we have to just sit here every 4 or 5 days, take the brunt of it. We wake up earlier or we stay up late or whatever we do to watch our team, and we see that horrible performance week in, week out.
Let me ask you this, Ariane. At the back end of Pochettino, we were seeing performances like this. We all said at the time the players were throwing Pochettino under the bus. It seems as though the same thing is happening now. 3 defeats in a row now. How many performances like this do you reckon Jose can survive? Because ultimately the buck is always going to stop with the manager.
Yeah, definitely. I think if something were to happen, at least mid-season, it's going to be sacking the manager, and I don't think he should. I think if we go on a 6-game losing streak, specifically 6, just I don't know, that's a number. I'm saying essentially if we lose 3 more games in the league, that might be the time Jose is going to have to start answering some questions. But I don't think the sack game should be the answer, regardless of how many games we start losing, because all that's going to happen is we're going to get a new manager in, whether it be, I don't know, whoever, like Eddie Howe, whatever. It's going to come in 3-4 days. I heard Marcelo in the background. No, I don't want Eddie Howe, by the way. Anyways, we're going to get somebody in. And they're going to get a 3-4 game winning bounce. And then we're going to go against the big side, lose it. We're going to lose our form. We're going to end up 7th or 8th place. We're not going to win any of the cups we're in. And it's going to be the same thing in a season. And then we're going to sack another manager. We're just going to turn into another Arsenal. That's the reality. If we sack Mourinho, we have to pay $30 million, whatever it is, to cancel his contract. We're not going to have any transfer fees after that, especially with the pandemic. All right, we're going to buy whoever we get, one player that's probably from a championship side. Not going to be able to do anything. And it's just going to be a regression.
Do you think Jose deserves a chance to see if he can win us a Europa League and a League Cup? Obviously,
Oh,
we're in the final
yeah.
of the League Cup. You think he deserves that chance, or do you think doesn't? Or do you
110.
think if they really do drop off in the league and we start being bottom half, then maybe you have to consider his position?
110%. I'm backing him all the way. This full season, he gets it from me. And you can call me whatever you want. I put it out on Twitter. I don't think it's Maria's fault. Bunch of names, people putting out my profile picture, calling me Jose sexual, whatever they're going to call me. I don't mind. Seriously. And he gets, like Marcelo said maybe a month ago, he gets 2 full seasons for me. At least 1, maybe 2, depending on how he does in the very beginning of the half, and that's his own thing. But he gets at least 1 full season, maybe 2 full seasons for me before I start to make a decision. Because he's the manager with the caliber and the resume that deserves it. You cannot tell. If we sack Mourinho, who are we going to get in? Who are we going to get in? Seriously, who's available?
Harry Redknapp.
Seriously, that's the kind of play. We're going to go back to our mid-table days where we're celebrating top 4 as if it's some kind of a trophy.
I mean, I would
Now, the way the
celebrate
season's going,
top 4
maybe
this
we will.
season if it was like some kind of trophy.
No, it wouldn't. The thing is, that's how far our standards have fallen. We can't have that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But look, it is what it is at the moment. I'm struggling to see how we're even going to get a point, never mind 3 at the moment. We've lost 3 on the bounce. I mean, tell me, where is this next win going to come from? Are we even going to beat West Brom on the weekend?
It depends on who comes back. If Harry Kane is expected to be back for West Brom, I hope we can win that game. And like you said, it looks very unlikely. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. for that game, by the way. I have to wake up at 4 in the morning to watch that, and I don't know if I'm going to.
Can't say I'm going to blame you. Can't say I'm going to blame you.
I probably will anyway, because I'm addicted to watching this club somehow. But
You're addicted to the pain.
Yes, exactly. It's we
The
can't
pain
get
that
used to
fuels
it.
you.
Exactly.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. The internet has been as bad as Dye's challenge today. I don't know who's been more clumsy, Dyer or the Wi-Fi connector. But Josh King says, how can anybody say with a straight face that Jose isn't the problem? We can't even pass or press. We are worse than the end of Poch's reign.
Look, at the end of Poch's reign, we couldn't pass or press either. We really couldn't. We couldn't pass. We're back, guys. We're back. Look, we couldn't pass or press at the end of Poch's reign either. So, for me, I think the players let Pochettino down, and those same players are letting Mourinho down now as well.
Well, Mourinho said, talking about the attacking play, he said Reguilon means something for our attacking football. Harry Kane means something to our attacking football. Lo Celso means something to our attacking football. A good Dele Alli that we haven't had yet also means something to our attacking football.
I don't care about that excuse.
It's also about not having the players to change things. It's also about the confidence. He says, I saw togetherness, and it's not easy to show togetherness with bad results and with injuries. It's easy to see togetherness in good moments, but I saw it in the second half.
Let's get Lewis on. Let him have his moment. Come on, let him have his moment. Lewis!
I won the Premier League combined 11, that's all I care
Lewis!
Yes, what are you saying, bro?
I don't want to hear any Ndombele slander, and I don't want to hear anything about Mason Mount.
Let me sort the camera out. But what are you guys telling me? How are you feeling on this wonderful night?
Absolutely shite.
Bro,
just the guy I wanted to speak to.
Your football today, man. I get you had a couple injuries going into this game, but
no
the players
excuse.
just didn't look like they even wanted to fight for it. It felt like us in the Leicester City game.
Yeah, I mean,
you would.
There's no excuses today, but do you feel that Chelsea even got out of first gear today?
Not really. I think there was a couple players that had really good performances. I think Jovicic was amazing today. Both Jorginho and Kovacic were brilliant. Mason Mount as well. Timo Werner was Timo Werner. I'm going to just leave it at that. He nearly got a goal at the end, but it's a confidence play. He still needs to get that first goal, and it's just a slog getting to that point. Defensively, I thought we were solid as well, but it's not like you gave us that much of a threat until about the last 10, 15 minutes. We got the penalty off a mad challenge from Eric Dyer. I don't really know what he was thinking with that. And other than that, we just rode it out. You just barely threatened us. It was easy for us to dominate that game today.
Does it mean something when we just hand you a 1-0 advantage like that, or do you think that should be irrelevant to the game and we should be able to see past that and create chances after going 1-0 down, or do you think that moment is very detrimental to our game plan?
I think it's just more. I'm thinking more mentality. I mean, it's the same Spursy thing that we always take the piss about, but you lot didn't really come out and fight for it. Like, I saw Son, like he was trying. I think he ended up moving Vinicius onto the left because he just wanted to get a bit more involvement in the game. Other than that, it was nothing. Like, you let Marcus Alonso have a semi-decent game, and that's a bit shocking in itself. Like, you lot, yeah, and that's kind of the reason why I understand him playing. But same way, you lot today, it didn't feel like a London derby for you lot. It felt like a pre-season match.
Agreed.
That's exactly what
and that's
I was
worrying
saying.
about you guys. I'm thinking, so what's happening with the manager? Because we had those problems, and we were saying the players aren't playing for the manager. So now I'm asking the question with you guys. What are you lot saying?
That's the thing. I mean, the way I look at it, you look at the back end of Pochettino, you have similar performances, no pressing, no movement, no confidence. And now you're seeing the same thing again now. And it seems as though the same players that were kind of stopped playing for Pochettino are stopping playing now for Jose Mourinho. And I think personally that we need more of a personnel change on the pitch than as a manager.
Yeah, you lot need that. I think it's about what the manager it's about what your owner's going to go for. And to be honest, with the contract you have for Jose Mourinho, it'll probably be actually the manager over the players. Plus, I think Jose Mourinho should be commanding more respect than anyone else in that club right now. He'll just tell anybody slap their medals on the table, and no one will be able to say shit. He's a proven winner. So if the players are the problem, I'd get rid of the players, because Jose Mourinho only plays this sort of football when he has no confidence in his team. Like we spoke about this before in the previews. Jose Mourinho isn't all park the bus. He can play good football. He's just always defensively minded, but you can still play free-flowing through that. First half of 14-15, look at the way Chelsea were playing. Then we got dicked by you guys at White Hart Lane, and the confidence just completely eroded, and we were playing defensive football and just scraped our way through to the title because of Eden Hazard masterclasses every single match, and the fact that there wasn't really any much competition with us as well. But Jose Mourinho can only play his good football if he absolutely has trust in his side, and it just looks like you don't believe in your team.
I mean, when Eric Dyer's doing that mistakes like that, do you expect him to have belief in that defence?
Nope.
Exactly.
Jose Mourinho, he knows defending better than anybody else. And I'm sure he must be done with Eric Dyer, at least a few more of your other centre-backs, because now you're playing more defensively minded just to protect the defence, which is just showing that the defence is the problem for you guys right now. I feel like it was easy for us at times to break you guys down. I'm not going to say throughout the entire match. I do think finishing let us down, but that's just typical Chelsea. I'm just glad we got a penalty out of it and were able to take the game from there. We had a couple good chances. I thought the midfield was good, but our problem's always been the final third and ending that off. And that's not even been for this season. That's the last 4 seasons. As soon as we start getting more clinical, though, it's peak for the rest of the league. But I am very confident for the end of the season now, because the first thing we needed to do was just beat a top 6 side. That was the one thing that was holding us back, and that would be a confidence problem for the rest of the season if we continue to let that go. Now we have a win
top
against
6
the top
side.
6
Have you
side.
seen the league? What do you mean top 6 side?
So wait. In the last 3 games, we've given Liverpool their first win of 2021. We've given Brighton their first league home win of the season, and we've given Chelsea their first league win against a top 6 side. What a great! We're just handing out gifts in this year. Great, 2021's great, isn't it?
Here, you want 3 points? You can take 3 points. You want 3 points? Here, take 3 points.
God's sake!
All right,
Tommy.
Lewis.
Wait. I want to ask you one more question, Lewis. Do you, when you're looking at Mourinho now, has he ever had a run like this, like he's having at Tottenham, without getting sacked? Did he ever have a run like this at Chelsea and turn it around?
I look back to 15-16, and I think Roman Abramovich really, really wanted to make it work, because if it was any other manager, or if it was any other period before we won the Champions League, he wouldn't have even made it to the end of October with that sort of form. I think with Jose, it's obvious that he is a proven winner. I've said if Jose can't get you a trophy, nobody can get you a trophy. He is a literal trophy hoarder. He knows how to win trophies. So I think you lot should stick by and back him because you lot want a serious manager that will take you to the top. Jose's a serious manager, and he's always wanted a long-term project. He will stay. He wants to stay in London because his family's based there, and that's half the reason why he flopped at Manchester United, because he was never happy there. So you have a chance to build something with Mourinho, but yeah, you got to get rid of them players first.
All right, Lewis, thanks for coming on. I just want to leave you with this comment on the chat here, and it's from Kudos, and it says, "Lewis, I like your channel, but get lost."
All right, bless guys. Take care. We'll enjoy the bubble. 3-point lane as per usual. Up the chance.
Get out of here, Lewis. Come on.
See you later, Lewis.
Take care, guys.
Oh man.
All right, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. We got some Tottenham therapy to get through. Marcelo, it's your time.
Man. Oh, here we go.
Oh, listen, look. Got it, disappointed, but what do you expect from these players? You know what I mean? I just want to ask everybody that's Jose out. How is this, right? I keep hearing, oh, Poch would get the best out of this team. Poch would squeeze the best out of this team, right? Jose Mourinho has not inherited the squad that Poch had. He has inherited Poch's third squad. When Poch was in charge, right, he had prime Vertonghen, prime Toby, right? You compare that to any of the center, you know, Toby is, you know, in the end of his years. If you compare that to
Rose and
partnership,
Walker.
yeah, he had Rose and Walker now, right? And then when Walker left, he had Trippier, right, who is better than Aurier. So basically, Jose Mourinho has inherited Pochettino's third choice right back. He hasn't basically, I mean, we replaced Rose with Reguilon, which is a good signing, but he's injured right now, right? Let's look at the center backs, right? But Dyer, you know what I mean? He was a Poch player, barely. He was a rotation Pochettino player, right? He you know, and most of the games he got was at DM. You know what I mean? He barely get any games at center back. You know what I mean? Sanchez, you used to rotate between, you know, Toby and you know, Jan if they were ever injured, but it was always Jan and Toby, and those two in their prime is better than anything we have right now. Those two were capable defenders. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? This delusion, oh, Poch would have gotten the best out of the team. Poch could not get the best out of this team. This is the same team that literally got Poch sacked. Wake up, smell the coffee, and realize what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the midfield, you know what I mean? We finally replaced Wijnaldum with, you know, Højbjerg. You know, we finally got a DM, you know, a proper DM. You know what I mean? Dele is out of form. You know what I mean? We lost Eriksson. We lost our creator. You know, we never got a creator, really. We never got a guy with any vision, any real spark. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many roles that our board has failed to replace that it's impossible to blame any of this on Jose. Like, okay, and then people are going to tell me, oh, but he criticizes the players, guys. Oh, he criticizes the players. He told Dele Alli that his twin brother was shit. Oh, my God. I've literally been in football pitches before, right, where people have called me shit, and we threw fists. You know what I mean? These men are running away when they're throwing ice at each other. Water, bro. Water. You know what I mean? You see Aurier leaving the ground after throwing water at each other. I mean, this is embarrassing. These guys get paid millions of euros. You know what I mean? Just to walk out on the team. You know what I mean? Just to give up because they can't take a few criticism. Jurgen Klopp, right? When they lost 7-2 to Aston Villa, right? He held those boys in the locker room and absolutely scolded them for 2 hours. Right? They didn't leave for 2 hours. They went back and they played better, right? They never repeated that same performance again. That's a true winner's mentality. We have a BS mentality in this squad. You know what I mean? So Sissoko, all these guys, you know what I mean? They're not playing for him and they're throwing him under the bus like they did Poch. Don't get blinded. I'm telling you, just don't be blind.
Yeah, I get your point, but then in terms of what you were saying about Klopp, you know, he gets stuck into them. And then you say they never made that performance. So, you know, they lost to Brighton on the weekend, and yesterday.
Yeah, but their issue isn't Klopp.
But Klopp, I know, but Klopp after the game is saying, you know, and all our passes were going astray. We couldn't find our men. Brighton were very good defensively and stuff like that. So he was like lost for ideas in that game. And it seems like a lot of teams are having that this season in terms of a lot of struggles. But what I'm saying is today, in the last 15 minutes, we look like when we actually got the ball down and started to play some football, we actually created a couple chances and we put one cross in the box the whole game. It was right at the end of the game. Aurier puts it across to Vinicius and he heads it wide. He had a good chance.
Yeah. But are you going to blame Mourinho at that? Are we going to blame Mourinho because Aurier just simply can't cross? I mean, literally, guys, we have been watching these players for years. They can't cross. They can't take a free kick. They can't take corners. They can't do fucking anything. You know what I mean? Like, we've been watching these players for so long. Like, when are we going to wake up and just realize it's their fault? You know what I mean? They're just not good enough. When is it ever going to be them? You know what I mean? We've been watching them for 7 years. These players used to be Pochettino's. Half of these players used to be Pochettino's French players, practically. They used to be Pochettino's rotation players. Now they're starting. Some of them are starting, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Because we just failed to replace them as a board. And then also, you know what I mean? First off, also, there's 17 games left. I know I'm gonna try to give you some positives. There's 17 games left, right? Reguilon is coming back. Kane is coming back. You know what I mean? We got Lo Celso coming back. These are 3 massive players that could come back and change our season, right? Like, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Arsenal had a bad form. Chelsea had a bad form. You know what I mean? All these teams have a bad form. You know what I mean? Chelsea didn't stick by their manager, but, Arsenal stuck by their manager. Even Liverpool stuck by their manager when, Klopp couldn't find a goal. You know what I mean? Just stick by the manager and give him at least the end of the season, for peace sake. You know what I mean? The guy has only really gotten 2 signings that he wanted. I doubt that he wanted Vinicius. I doubt that he wanted Doherty, because he kept saying he wanted Castane and Max Aarons. He kept saying he wanted Skriniar and Diaz, and that he wanted Milinkovic. He kept saying that he wanted these different players, but he never got them. You know what I mean? And, like, as a board, right? Why are we just buying a cluster of players that are useless? You know what I mean? I'd rather us go on summer, right, and sign 2 quality players than sign 7 players and just wing at the air. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to stop that. Let's just let's just buy some quality players. If it's just 1 player in the summer, I'd rather have 1 player that's going to start consistently in our starting 11 than buying 7 French players. Let's buy 1 or 2 quality players in the summer, for peak's sake. Like, our business is horrible. Steve Hitchen, you can't even get a loan deal. You know what I mean? You still get to sell, Eric Lamela. When are we going to start calling these other people out for not doing their job? A manager cannot succeed if he does not have the resources. You can bring anyone in here. It's the same shit that's going to keep happening, and the same thing that kept happening for 20 years. Like, just wake up.
Yeah, no, it's hard to disagree with you, Marcelo. It really is. But look, we got to keep moving, so I'm just going to
listen, we got Everton. We're still in the FA Cup. If I can give you positives, we're still in the FA Cup. We got a League Cup final. Anybody saying that we don't have a chance against City, listen, I've seen us pull City's, pants down when they were 3 times better than us. You know what I mean? So 90 minutes, anything can happen. We're still in the FA Cup. If we beat Everton, we'll go to the quarterfinals. Anything can happen after that. And, Europa League, that's Jose's, trophy practically. He's never lost it. So, man, we can hopefully go far in that. So there's still places where we can go and win trophies and have a decent season. So come on, guys. 17 games left, 3 competitions. Come on, you Spurs. Back the manager.
Do it for the badge, man. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah.
Nice one, Marcelo.
Come on.
Marcelo. Oh, all right, who is next? Joseph, long time no speak. How you doing, mate?
Long time, yeah. How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. What did you make out of the game today?
Oh, God. I mean, literally, if you rewind to Brighton, like 3-1 a few days ago, to Brighton, literally, I thought the first half pretty much was exactly today. It was pretty much exactly the same as the first half on Sunday, pretty much, in terms of we had probably like 1 or 2 shots today on goal in the first half. Nothing much. And then it's just the approach was just wrong. It was wrong, and then Chelsea took the lead. Poor error really from Dyer, of course. Someone who's been slated. I mean, he's just not been good enough for ages now. I mean, I've never really rated that guy, that much. He consistently starts, I think, just because he speaks Portuguese or whatever it is, But I don't know. But he consistently starts with Mourinho, and then he makes the same mistakes. So obviously, just such a poor error. I mean, and then gives Chelsea the game pretty much. Because from then, like when we were 1-0 down, never really felt like Jose's or tactics or anything, or players just never really get anything back from this game, really. I really think. But I mean, second half is an improvement. That's the one positive I will give you today. Same as your granddad said. Second half is an improvement. We last 15 minutes or so, we've had chances. Obviously, big chance for Vinicius. Could have stolen the point, but just not good enough, is it, guys, really?
Let me ask you this, Joseph. Obviously, we've had 3 losses in a row in the league now. How do we improve things? What needs to happen to change results on that pitch?
I mean, obviously, the obvious thing is obviously get our injured players back and get our key players back and we'll start performing again. But
is that such an excuse though? Shouldn't we be? No. We were all praising how big of a squad we had in the summer after that summer transfer window. So is that really an excuse?
No, it's not an excuse. But just saying, obviously that would help. But I think I don't know. It's just. I mean, that doesn't mean. I mean, obviously West Brom on Sunday. The one thing is that was the one thing I thought. I was sitting there watching today. I'm thinking I don't really see light at the end of the tunnel. To be honest, that's the worst thing about watching these 3 games. They're all very similar games in terms of first half. It's almost like the way we approach the game. It's basically what costs us. The first half, when you waste away 45 minutes, waste the first half away and then start suddenly showing some more energy in the second half. It's just a bit too late by then. You're already 1-0 down. If you've noticed, all the 3 losses, we've been 1-0 down at half time. So it's just, it's like we're already 1-0 down. We're fighting an uphill battle in the second half. I mean, but I just, I think West Brom. I'm hoping West Brom. I know they're obviously leading points themselves, but I think we hopefully should come through that game. We should win that one. But I mean, the thing is, and the positive thing is, we are still in all competitions, of course. And I don't think it is Jose's fault necessarily that we are in this position. I think we've got to stick by him at the end of the day because I think he's a proven winner, obviously, and I think that. Yeah, I think we've got to sit by him. I don't think it's his. I don't think he's telling them to do. I know he has some blame, but I don't think he's necessarily it's not necessarily his tactics that are costing us. It's again individual errors. We can't really legislate for errors that happen. Like for example, today with Dyer, we can't legislate for that really.
All right. Unfortunately, because the stream was down a bit, we need to keep going.
All right, Joseph. Thanks for coming on, man. It was good to hear from you, and hopefully hear from you soon.
Yeah. So one thing I will say though, just quickly, guys. Sorry. Is I want to say congratulate him as well on his obviously full-time job on WeAreTottenham TV as well. So well done for that.
Thank you, Joseph.
He's about to get the sack.
Say again, sorry?
I said he's about to get the sack.
Oh right. Well, I'm sure he'll be all right. But yeah, I'm sure you just guys keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I'm glad I'm signed up now, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys again soon.
All right, good to hear from you, Joseph. And we'll speak soon. Keep the faith. Up the Spurs.
Hopefully better times ahead, eh? Come on, Spurs.
Come on.
All right, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Who's on next?
Jack or Jake? Jack.
Yes, Jack. Chelsea won. We're not good, mate. How are you?
3 defeats in a row will drag you down, won't it?
It kind of does. It's hard to build ourselves up for this kind of constant letdown.
Jack, the general consensus so far from the people that we've spoken to, it's kind of they think that we need to stick with Jose. He's the right man for the job and the players aren't really pulling through for him. Do you have the same belief?
I'm of the belief that firing Jose would be very expensive. So expensive that it would hurt the goals and the projects that those who want Jose to be out would have in terms of the transfer market. It would hurt our chances in getting a real quality player because he would cost us that much. Am I full Jose out? No, because as a lot have said, and I think as you, Ben, and Sim have said, he's still in the Europa League. The Europa League is, quote unquote, maybe still his tournament. He's still got us to a Carabao Cup final. He's still in the FA Cup. Unless he goes, let's say, on another 4 or 5 game streak of maybe, I would say no wins would be what my breaking point would be. Then we have to really seriously consider terminating his contract early.
So, but that's the so you would consider if it gets that bad. But do you think he deserves a chance? Do you not think he deserves a chance to see if he can win the Europa League and a League Cup, which would give us a good season overall?
Maybe I wasn't very clear. Yeah, I think he does deserve that chance. I think the Europa League is still maybe his tournament, and I think he's still in the one match tie, the 2 leg ties. He's still a very different manager, and perhaps still a quality manager to get us through some of these ties that maybe other managers wouldn't.
can Jose legislate for the constant individual mistakes we are making at the back here, or do you think he has a lot to blame for the results we're getting in terms of the way we're playing?
I think he has blame in how we're playing and how we look how we're playing. I can say that was one of the most, in terms of offensively and just games in general, that was one of the most boring games I think we've played. That was pretty dismal.
And that's saying something.
Right, and that's saying something. But I would say it's not his fault, because at the end of the day, it's hard to say this, and the tactics would have changed and the substitutions would have changed. But if Dyer didn't make whatever panic swipe at Werner's legs that he didn't need to, if that didn't happen, it would have been 0-0, despite how awful we might have played. And that's a different story.
Yeah, because you look at the Dyer mistakes this season. You've got Everton at home, first day of the season. He makes a mistake for the goal. You got Newcastle at home, last minute decision. He gives away a handball. You've got Liverpool away. He gets pushed over by Henderson the last minute, gives away a goal from a corner. You've got Fulham at home. He loses Cavallero, the only man in a box when he's 5'7", and he loses the header to him.
Was half to blame for that.
No, against Fulham. I'm talking about.
Right. Sorry.
Fulham. Liverpool, him and Lloris get in a muddle and they leave it for each other, and it goes in the back of the net. You got today, he gives away an absolutely diabolical. Today was the worst one of those six. He gives an absolute diabolical penalty away. I mean, when are we going to get the memo of Dyer?
I think we've all had the memo, and it's just Jose's probably just put in the earplugs every night when he goes to bed.
But does he have a choice? Who does he play?
That's also fair. It's also
Tanganga,
fair.
Sanchez.
I think it needs to be either Joe or Sanchez next to Toby, and then we just bite our tongue and see if that lasts till the rest of the season without any major mishaps continuously. I'm all right with the occasional mistake, but I was probably one of Dyer's biggest sympathizers in terms of his mistakes, because I like how he handles the ball in possession. But this was the last straw for me tonight. This really was the last straw, because I just don't know what he's doing at all. And the fact that he has 3 other defenders on his team waiting for him to not make that mistake and waiting to take the ball away from Werner, who has nowhere to go. Despite him being in the box, he has nowhere to go. And that's where I lost it. Because I don't know why someone who plays that much, that continuously, is making such panicked plays like that, as if it's their first game in 30 games.
I'll tell you my opinion on the centre-back positions. I can't see a way to play to Davinson Sanchez. I can't see a way to play Davinson Sanchez. He's let us down way too many times, in my opinion. Eric Dyer, he's let us down way too many times, in my opinion. Joe Rodon came in last game, wasn't great, made mistakes, but he's a young player and he'll learn from those mistakes. So in my personal opinion, I think we got to persist with Joe Rodon and Toby Alderweireld at the back. I think that, yes, Joe Rodon will make mistakes, but he's young enough to learn from them, and he's young enough to come back from them, when Eric Dyer, to me, seems like a lost cause.
I think that's well said, Ben. I think Joe Rodon is still, if we're going to accept mistakes, or if mistakes is what we're getting used to at this point, which we are getting used to, then it might as well just put on Joe Rodon, because like you said, Davinson Sanchez, I think, has had his moments to prove himself, either under Poch or under Jose. And Eric Dyer is, his own book of mistakes as it is. And it seems like Joe Rodon, if we're going to accept mistakes, or if mistakes are going to be the common format of how we defend, might as well give Joe Rodon the chance to prove us wrong more.
Yeah. All right, Jack. Thanks for coming on, man.
Nice one, Jack.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Good to see you.
All right. Is his camera all good?
Brian Daigle. All right, sorry. We're going to get him on in a second.
Yeah, you want to go through some of the comments or some tweets or something?
Yeah. Let's see some of your comments. Wesley says, when we give away a penalty, I actually don't have reaction anymore. I expect them. Yeah, how many people? We gave away a penalty against Leicester. We're giving away a penalty tonight. How many? We gave a penalty against Newcastle.
And at the beginning, we were blaming VAR on these shit decisions.
Southampton, Man United. That's 5 penalties right there. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous amount of penalties we're giving away. I mean, but just the last few games. Has just been riddled with individual errors. Riddled, absolutely.
But it's not
riddled.
just individual errors that it's riddled with. It's riddled with players standing still, looking devoid of any sort of ideas, defensive or attacking, looking like they're shot of complete confidence. I mean, it's shocking. It really is.
It looks like whenever we go 1-0 down, we just completely lose belief.
We can't do anything when we go 1-0 down.
We can't do anything.
Have we
can't
come
do
back from
anything.
1-0 down once this season?
Only against Southampton and Man United
And Man United,
at the beginning of the season. Other than that, we haven't come back from 1-0 down at all. We haven't needed to, but we haven't done it. And against Liverpool we did, then we conceded again.
And a player like Jesse Lingard, who we've all said no, comes in straight away, scores 2 goals on his debut.
And Bergwijn, Lucas, Lamela, there's more than all of them combined.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
David Harris in the comments saying, do you think it's a case of right manager, wrong time?
I hope not.
I can see that. I can see it. But look, let's bring on Sam.
Hello.
Hi,
Yes,
Sam.
Sam. I know you've been waiting a while. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We've had a bit of a few streams going down, more times than Tottenham going down. But anyway, let's talk about the game. Obviously, it was awful, but what were your thoughts?
I thought it was just so disappointing and disheartening to see a team that lost against Brighton and had a chance to prove ourselves tonight. We had a chance to prove ourselves, and yet I'm watching this game, and we are spectators to our own game. Our players are standing there spectating our own game. We are walking in the pit on the pitch. We're out of possession. We were awful today. We were so bad. We haven't lost 3 in a row since 2012, which says a lot about our run of play at the minute. And something needs to change. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. We provided no pressure. We didn't have enough possession to have any control of the game whatsoever. It's one thing going on the counter attack, but when you have no runners to do that, and when you have basically 0 possession in the first half, you can't do that. There's no threat on the counter attack because of the lack of runs and because of the lack of quality of balls. And Eric Dyer, he's Eric Diabolical. He is so shit. He is so bad for this team. And I don't understand why Jose is so far up his arse. He plays him every game and he makes mistakes continuously throughout the game. And they don't just cost goals. He gives away possession on his clearances. Passing isn't very good. And he should do a lot better in the air than what he does, considering how tall he is.
Who's your preferred centre-back pairing?
I don't know. I think Davison Sanchez is worse than Dyer. It's difficult. I think Rodon and Alderweireld are good, but I think Tanganga is a shout as well, because I think last season he played very well against Liverpool and a few other teams, and he proved himself.
Do you think the fact that sometimes with Mourinho, when a player makes a mistake, he comes out of the team and then another one comes in, that he makes a mistake and he's back out, and there's no real stability in that centre-back pairing at the moment? Do you think that is causes a lack of confidence there, or do you think do you empathise more with Mourinho, the fact that all these defenders keep making mistakes and he can't find a pairing which is error-free at the moment?
No, I think it is down to Mourinho consistently changing it, because as a centre-back, especially a centre-back pairing, you need to be comfortable with each other and know each other's play. And that's why Toby and Jan did it so well together for years, because they knew each other and they knew their place in the squad was solid, and they were very strong defensively. So I think when you continuously change it, it puts people off balance, and it doesn't have their head in the right place when you don't know whether you could be in or out the squad, because it changes your mindset for the game.
So would you just go? So having said that, who's your? So you said before maybe you give Tanganga a run, but if you're going to give someone a consistent run in centre back, which two do you go with?
I go with Rodon and Alderweireld, because I think that Rodon will make mistakes, But I think in the long run, it's probably a good idea to put him in the team and get him experienced in the first team football.
And no one, I think, as well, is talking about our midfield and how poor they were today in terms of how many times you see Mason Mount and Kovacic just have the freedom of our half to run on our back four, run on our defence, cause us problems, and not be shut down by our centre mids. And Højbjerg looked like he was looking left and right to try and put out fires, and he couldn't put them all out. And where was Sissoko today? Where, like, from a defensive point of view, where was Ndombele? Like, there was no one marking the centre mids. There was so much space, and the reason you have Højbjerg and Sissoko together like that is so we do what we did against Man City and against Arsenal. You clog up the central areas. You make it very, very difficult for the midfield players to start creating patterns of play and moves, and when you get your chance, you go forward. But Sissoko and Højbjerg today did not work whatsoever. They looked so overrun.
I know. Yeah, it's they were working with the defence instead of going to the position they should have been. And there was way too much freedom allowed because of that with Mason Mount and the others in midfield. And I think it was a shame for Højbjerg and Ben Davies, especially in the first half, because they were consistently looking for runners, they were consistently looking for passes, and they couldn't find them because of the complete lack of creativity in this team. And I don't know how we're going to solve it, but we need to, because it's a problem that is hurting our game. The lack of creativity and the lack of runners and the lack of quality of passing is losing us these games.
Yeah, look, I completely agree with you. But in the on the thing, why every Chelsea player has just got so much space, I think our players just listening to Boris Johnson and the government guidelines a bit too much, and they don't realise that elite football don't need to social distance on the fucking pitch. But Sam, that's my rant over for it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
Nice one, Sam.
Thank you.
And let's end off with our last guest, Josh.
Oh, come on, Josh. Please, Josh. Brighten up my day.
Josh, man, I want to eat some samosas.
I'm starving, Josh.
Guys, I wish, man. I wish. Forget samosas, man. Forget samosas, man. We got a tough run coming, guys. We got West Brom, we got Man City, and we got West Ham. And you know what? In 3 games, it could be Jose out. The writing is on the wall, man. It's whether these guys want to play for him now, stand up for him. Do they care about him? Or do they just want to say, you know what? You can't sack a squad, but you can sack a manager. And I'm starting to worry that this might be the start of the end of Jose Mourinho at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And I never thought I'd be saying it this soon. But you know what? The season, the way it's going at the moment, guys, and the fixtures we've got, that's, you know, we could take 0 out of 9 points in the next 3 games.
What do you think the best call is, though, Josh?
Look, guys, a lot of people blaming Jose. A lot of people blaming the players. For me, you see, these guys are young players. Yeah, Jose is not even a middle-aged man. He's a very, you know, you could say the guy's got more experience in football than most managers out there, especially in the Premier League. So in terms of his CV and his experience, there's not many that can say, I've done what Jose's done. So sometimes baffles me. His decisions baffle me for what he's got on paper and what he's achieved. For example, today, his pre-match team talk, before he sent the players out. Why is he not telling us to go out there and play attacking football? We're at home. The players should believe in themselves. They should believe in each other's qualities. But why are we playing with this low block every time we start a Premier League game? It's not luck that every time we start slow. It's not like I can take you back to games before and I said we started quick and we were at the races like we used to be with Redknapp and Pochettino. But we don't even start well. Yeah, so something's not right in the psyche of these players before they walk onto the pitch. Because when they're all lined up in the tunnel and they're all looking to come out, you're looking at the Tottenham players thinking, yeah, let's go for it. But we go out and we seem to retreat. And it's like our DNA is being changed because Tottenham's identity, and you guys growing up and me growing up and every Spurs fan out there, Tottenham's identity and character is to take the game to the opposition and play free-flowing football, not this low block. So I would love to know what he says for his pre-match chat to the guys.
I'll push back on that, Josh. One sec. I'll push back on that because that hasn't been our problem for the majority of the season, slow starts. I know that have definitely happened today. It definitely happened against Brighton. Yeah, I'm not saying it's never happened, but the majority of games this season, we have started on the front foot. We have played attacking football in the first half. And then the problem is the problem's been once we get the goal, we drop off. But now, and especially the last couple games, we've completely fallen flat, and we don't even seem to be coming out in the first half anymore. But
so I agree with you guys, but when we're playing the big six, the so-called big six, we're giving them probably more respect than they deserve. I mean, if you look at the Chelsea team and the Tottenham team, you can mix up those first 11s, and it's not a clear difference between Chelsea and Tottenham, right? Or you know, you look at other teams that we've sat back and parked the bus and played that counter attack. And at one point early in the season, we were all singing his praises, saying the art of defense, the art of counter attacking.
Yeah.
Right. But where's our plan B?
Aye.
Where's our plan B, guys? I think you guys have gone offline. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's our plan B? So, like, if I'm a footballer, right, and I don't know if you guys play five-a-side or Sunday League, yeah, but a lot of the callers, I'm sure, play football or have played football at some point, right, growing up, yeah, or still do. When you play football, you want to play beautiful, attractive football. That's a footballer's nature. You don't grow up to defend as a team. You grow up to, if you're a defender, defend. But if you're a midfielder, you grow up to pass and move and play passing possession football. Where is our passing possession football gone? I mean, we can't even do an out ball at the moment without pegging it backwards or going long ball, right? It's like everyone's nervous at the back. And where is that out ball being received? When we used to have Musa Dembele and Eriksen, they could take an out ball, right? But I feel like Pierre's just kind of feels a bit on his own. Sissoko's feet are like bricks. And I feel like no one wants to receive the ball except for Tanguy. And when Tanguy gets the ball, he's trying to do some sort of magician kind of magic in the park. And it's almost like there's too much in his shoulders. The midfield needs to have a little bit more confidence in receiving the ball, guys, and laying it in and around. I feel like we're a nervous wreck right now. Our confidence is so low. It's so low that going into West Brom, I feel like not having the... I mean, today we were bottom of every stat, guys, and I don't like to always look at stats, but the stats told a great story today. If you didn't watch the game, just look at the stats and it'll tell you pretty much everything you need to know. Chances created, corners, possession, you know, shots on target. Everything was poor, guys. Now, one thing I will say, right, is when we came out in the second half, it looked like either Jose's revved them up or the players have said, screw you, Jose, we're just going to go out and do what we want like kids in the playground. We're just going to play. We'd rather lose 2-0 trying than lose 1-0 being conservative. And there was flashes and glimpses of what this team can do in that second half. It's almost like they let the weight off their shoulders and said, you know what, let's have a go. And you know what? Our identity of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is not this type of football, guys. And I'm happy to play this kind of football if we're away and we're 1-0 up and we're protecting a lead. But guys, when it's 0-0, we have to believe in our club, our players. And yeah, a lot of people are saying the players are not good enough. What are you going to do? Sack 22 players? It's not going to happen, guys. Stop living in fantasy world. Stop living in dreamland. And if that's what you're going to do, you're in for a difficult 3-4 years, because you can't just sell 22 players and bring 22 new players in. For me, guys, Jose has to take a lot of responsibility the way he's putting this team out and the tactics that he's going with. And are you telling me Jose's a spectator? You can't pay him whatever it is, 15 million or whatever it is he's getting paid to go out there and after the match, what does he do? He almost thinks he's a commentator. He just narrates what happened. Oh, well, you know, we had some chances. Mate, I've listened to the commentators. I want to know why you put those tactics out and why the players are not playing aggressive football, which is what this club stands for. We're not Crystal Palace. We're Tottenham Hotspur, man. We should be going out and taking the game to them. So I'm really worried about the players not enjoying Jose's instructions and type of football, and therefore they are almost indirectly, without saying it directly, they're playing this kind of, I don't want to play this football. I don't believe in this football. I didn't grow up as a professional footballer dreaming of playing this park the bus, low block football. You know,
but Josh, you say you love you're not someone who goes into stats and everything, but let me give you a stat. Our worst results have come when we've had more touches in the final third than in the other games. The more touches we have in the final third, the worse results we have. The more times we press the opposition, the worse results we have. So when you're stuck with that kind of data, right? Yeah. And then we're coming out of the low block. What do you expect him to do? Because clearly when we go forward, it's not working. When we sit back, it's not working.
So, you know, where the stats earlier in the season when we were winning and we were beating all our rivals
We
were
weren't having that many
Tottenham-
touches in the final third.
Yeah, not many touches, clinical. But guys, there's something called luck, and you run out of it, and then you got to start making luck. And the way you make luck is by creating chances, right? We were playing against these teams, Man City, Man United. Obviously, we went out and did our business, but against Man City, against Arsenal, Woolwich, all these teams, right? We're sitting back and we're relying on luck to finish the job. But guys, you telling me, both of you, as well as all the fans here on the live chat, are you not telling me when we played that brand of football, when we were defensive, low block, park the bus, your heart wasn't in your mouth every game?
Well, when we played against Man City and we played against Arsenal, I don't think it was, because I thought we weren't reactive defending, we were proactively defending, which I liked. We were aggressive in the final in our defensive third and not made it easy for the opposition. But in the last couple of games, we've been way too reactive, which is my gripe.
Yeah. So reactive is counter-attacking football, right? Because you wait for them to make a mistake, lose the ball, and catch them on an error. So that's great.
No, but we were forcing mistakes before. We used to force mistakes. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, because we were pressing as well. So this counter-attacking, low-stat football only works when you press as a team. Where's our pressing gone? And you know what the other thing is, guys? Teams are pressing us, and we're not able to get out of this press. And is it because we don't have the technicality within the players that we got on the pitch? Or is it because the players have given up in Jose's philosophy? It might be a little bit. Listen, Musa Sissoko isn't the most technical person in that department, and we need to start looking at his replacement. We need to start looking at Musa Sissoko's replacement. His time's come to an end. And if we've got standards at this club, we have to live and die by them. And if it's an emotional connection, if it's Gareth Bale, whoever it is, we must stick to our standards. We cannot drop our standards. There are certain players that are not doing it, yeah? But you know what? I will say one thing. Isn't it the manager's job to motivate the players? He's not like a third or fourth coach. He's the main man. And if you don't believe in your manager, then I'm sorry, no matter what line of work you're in, you're not going to give it 100%. And are the players really in belief of this style of football? Did they come to Spurs to play this kind of football? Or did they come to Spurs to think we will go for it, believe in ourselves, and feel like we can take most teams on toe-to-toe? And I believe the players might have lost belief in Jose's tactics, guys, and I feel that's showing up on the pitch now.
All right, lastly, Josh, before we let me go, last question of the fan show. Do you think, obviously, you would agree, if we win Carabao Cup and you win Europa League, we've had a good season, right? Would you agree with that?
Look, if we win the Europa League, we're in the Champions League, right? So that's fantastic.
So I'm saying, does Jose deserve that chance to see if he can win Europa League? Or do you think if it does get so bad in the league, he does have to go at some point? Or do you think he deserves the chance to see if he can get that League Cup and Europa League?
I'll tell you what, yeah, there's one particular person who's sitting on his sofa tonight, and I hope we had him on your show, and that guy's name is Harry Kane. Harry Kane was watching what Rio, Genis, and the boys were saying at halftime, and I'm glad they slated us at halftime, them three pundits, because there's no way Harry Kane didn't go for a cup of tea. Then he must have watched that. And you know what? He should go back tomorrow, Harry Kane, with those comments in mind, and have a chat with Jose and say, Jose, you know what? This is not us. The whole world is slating us right now. We still have a chance to turn our season around, guys. If we beat West Brom, it gives us a bounce for Man City. So of course you got to leave Jose where he is, because he's got us into the final of a cup. So we need to see what happens over there. And the way this season's going, everyone's taking points of everyone, so we can still make a late charge for top four. But my question is, who's going to go to Jose's office tomorrow morning and say, this ain't working, boss. We got to go on the front foot, boss. This is Tottenham Hotspur. We're not Crystal Palace. And I hope Harry Kane does that, because he must have seen that halftime analysis, because anyone who saw that is sitting there going, do you know what? This is not what I want to do for the next couple of years in my career. So let's hope things change, because the second half gives us hope, and the second half gives Jose a sign that when you let these guys play with freedom, they actually create chances. And that's what we did.
All right, Josh.
Nice one,
Thanks
Josh.
for coming on, man.
Listen, one more thing. Big
Go
up
on,
the channel. Big up the We Are Tottenham TV channel, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, Spurs Debate. And we're putting up a video tonight. Big up the Tottenham family.
Looking forward to it.
Guys,
I'll watch that.
Guys, there's a little bit of hope from that second half. Keep your chins up.
All right, Josh. Thanks for coming on, man.
Come on, guys.
Josh. Come on.
Peace out.
All right, so that is a long fan show.
Forget
Past
samosas.
midnight.
Don't have ballpoint pens at the moment.
We're officially on tomorrow now, so predicted player ratings comes out today. Are we doing a morning after show?
See what the computer's saying.
All right, we'll see you in the morning if morning after show happens, but I think we are going to do one. So check out in the morning for the morning after show. We plan to go live
super chat
around 11 o'clock.
Bobby B says we played absolute rubbish. Yeah, it took a pen, and once again we make a below-average Chelsea look like prime Barcelona.
Yeah, so morning after show around 11 o'clock tomorrow. Player ratings. It's going to be brutal, the player ratings, I'll tell you that. That is coming out shortly after the morning after show. Then the 5 takeaways as well to come out tomorrow. And you're going to have a perspective as well, potentially tomorrow. So a lot of content to do tomorrow. I can see Jolie laughing in the background there because he knows he's got a lot of work to do tomorrow. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hopefully next time on better occasions. We need some sleep. We're going to have some bad dreams tonight on that performance. But look, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.